How's it going, guys?
Hey,
Hey.
just hanging out in outer space here, I see.
Looks exciting.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Michigan.
Okay. Excellent.
What's up?
Howdy.
Where are you guys from?
I'm up-
Okay, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
you bet.
Yeah.
I don't hear you guys. What is going on here? Let's see. Give me 1 second because I gotta figure out the computer. Stop video, mute,
No problem.
recording. Oh, good, it's recording. Let's see. All right, give me 1 second. I gotta get the audio going.
Hey, Tim, you're the one that was on Schoology, right?
No.
Oh, no, different. All right.
No. I talked about doing Schoology, but I don't know anything about it.
Oh, okay. I made a group in
Or something else.
on Schoology that we can
It should be-
share resources or whatever. It's easy to use, but
There you go. Okay, you guys hear me?
Don't you have to have a Schoology account in order to get on that?
You'll probably hear me.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
you
don't
don't
have
have
one.
to,
Then.
it's free.
Oh, it's free. Okay.
I
Yeah,
did-
the only pay part of it is if
Why
you want
you-
to link
which-
directly
which
to
audio?
your grade book.
Oh, okay.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
You bet.
Okay. All right. Welcome to the big show. All right. What did I miss, guys and girls?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Tim's eating in the middle of a forest. Fantastic. All right.
Yeah, that's my car right.
You guys
Mike.
like the new studio?
That's impressive, Ron. That's a pretty nice facility for you. How'd you end up there?
Not mine. This is not mine. This is like a legit recording studio, like with guitars all around and stuff. Yeah, I'm at a friend's house. This is insane.
You have one of them?
Yeah, I got one. Maybe. Yeah.
It's one more than I have.
Yeah. But this is good. Let's see. Let me switch my view. Oh wow, there's a lot of people here. We got some. Oh, Frank's here. What's up, Frank?
Not much. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, I sent Frank the link.
Oh, finally. Finally, we got some representation. Hold on, let's see.
Yeah, 1/3 New Jersey here.
Yeah. Okay, we're live. Get on here.
I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of us from Michigan.
Oh, damn it.
Wow.
We're outnumbered.
All right, so generally when we do this, we just sort of go around and let everybody know what's working and what's not working, And this time, now that I'm using like a legit computer, I could probably do a background. So I'll play around with that in a minute, But let's start with some newcomers. Let's see, Emma. I've never seen you here before. Welcome.
Hi. Yeah, I haven't been able to make the last few, so trying it out tonight. Yeah, I teach at Michigan, just like a general industrial tech class for high school, and then an 8th grade class. I'm in a small K-12 school, like Matt.
Awesome. Welcome to the big show.
Yeah, she's like less than an hour away from me. So
What cities?
Yeah.
We're both in the
Crystal Falls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm in Republic.
Nice. I know you guys like 10 hours apart or like 5 hours apart.
I'm outside Detroit.
Okay. Nice.
So
Excellent. Wow, we got some a lot of joiners. JJ Ford. Welcome to the show. And we got Paul Klein. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks. Good to be on here. I've meant to catch one of these meetings for a while. haven't been able to make it happen. I'm up in Canada in BC on Vancouver Island.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm a high school woodwork teacher, and obviously same situation as you guys, but getting kids set up. We're using Microsoft Teams, so I'm just trying to connect with them and create some initial assignments just to get them engaged a little bit. But yeah, we'll see what happens next week. We're supposed to be sort of still prepping. I think their goal, the school district's goal or the provincial government's goal, is to have us working with kids by the 15th, so next week. So lots of stuff happening already, though. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Are they going to just turn the switch, or they're going to roll it out?
You mean as far as like the online stuff?
Well, I just always thought, like, if they're going to ever bring us back, why not bring us back in a reasonable way? Like, bring back 1/4 of the school first. Maybe like all first responder parents send their kids to school. Like if they told me, I mean, I like being, on vacation from commuting.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice, I got to tell you.
Okay.
But if they told me tomorrow and they said, well, I'm on spring break right now, but if they told me tomorrow, okay, you're coming in, you're going to teach like 1/4 of the size of your class. We're going to give you protection. We're going to give you all kinds of stuff. I would do it.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had no talk about that. There's no talk about going back into the school. In fact, I can't even get in the shop to prep stuff or do some demos in there. So they want us to sort of just be reaching out and engaging with kids just online. And we've been told it won't affect their mark that they already have. So
yeah.
It's still pretty fuzzy.
We have a no-fail orders from my supervisor.
Yeah, that sounds about the same. Yeah.
So what we do in this meeting is we kind of like, first we just kind of intro and chit chat, and then we go around and people talk about what's working and what's not working, because my first 3 weeks, this will be week 4, but I'm on spring break. But my first 3 weeks were terrible. The first week was not working at all. And then the second week was like, I experimented with some stuff. And by third week, I actually found something that works. So we'll kind of go around and everybody sort of knows what's working, what's not working. And then listening to other people, you'll pick up some ideas. This is a very experimental time, right now. And also, we should probably highlight what people are doing to stay busy, like in the shop-wise. Like, for instance, BarberCheck is actually using the 3D printers to help out health workers with the making the band, and then they fill in the shield, the face mask. So if anybody's doing anything, like someone's making a respiratory design or looks like you're playing tennis. There you go. Yeah, all right. That's it. Tennis in the woods. Okay. Did anybody, all right, I have to break format for a second. Did anybody see BarberCheck's Imagination Online video?
I didn't.
No.
Okay. All right, you didn't miss anything yet, but it's all right.
No,
I shared it with my.
Oh, Emma.
Yeah,
what
I
did
shared
you
it with
say?
my students. I shared it with my students because they always ask to make swords. So
Oh.
I trolled them a little bit and said, "Here, the Republic Shop teacher gave you guys a tutorial." Yeah, because I'm sick of that question.
Yeah, I just say no weapons, and they, but yeah, they always want to make weapons. It's funny, like
I credit the one dislike the YouTube video has to Emma right now.
what do you, it kind of cut out.
Possibly,
down.
sorry.
I say you
It
always
was
have to be more specific than no weapons.
I got a
That
thumbs
never-
down on YouTube video.
That never works.
Yeah. All right. We also got, let's see, let's just go around. We got Matt's here, Matt Van Arsdale. How you doing?
Hanging in there. We just got word from our district that we are putting together course completion packets, essentially, for the remainder of the year. That's going to be rolled out late next week after it's approved by the intermediate school district. So busy time right now.
See, the thing I don't understand is when you say packet, my ear says paper. You can't be serious.
It is, well, we had a Zoom staff meeting, kind of our first get together yesterday. Since we left on the 13th of March, somewhere in there, or that Friday. It wasn't the 13th. Anyway, pretty much of the 560 kids in our building, 6 do not have internet access.
Oh,
So
I see.
everything is going to be assembled into a Google Drive for all our classes or each of our classes. And then if the student doesn't have internet access, they're getting a flash drive that has all the resources on it. So I'm gonna have to start saving some videos to those. Anyway, assignments, and then the rest of the kids are gonna get it via the internet. So.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Not everybody has the internet, you know. Okay. And Frank, how you doing?
Good. So we had a really unusual week in that we've canceled spring break, and they have taken all of the days of spring break, and we now have only 4-day weeks the remainder of the year, and that's going to stay true even if we go back. We have every Friday off. So that, and we've now been told we have to meet with our kids online, are our two big news that broke the beginning of this week.
Barbercheck has a 4-day work week, and I think that's how it should be anyway. I mean, why do you have to go there 4 days a week? I mean, 5 days a week. I would, if someone said, oh, you got to work an extra hour and a half, I would definitely take that and have a 3-day weekend. The whole economy would be better because then you could have a second job or business, or you could go on vacation and spend money. Like, the idea of 5 days to me is like, I mean, nobody does anything on Friday anyway, you know? So that's the deal. What district are you in?
Roxbury Public Schools, which is in the northern part of New Jersey.
I'm in the northern part of New Jersey. That's not in the northern. Where?
In Morris County.
Morris County, man. Oh my.
Hey, he's like halfway between me and you.
What would you consider where I am? I'm not really in the north. I'm in the suburb of New York. I'm basically
you're the most southern part of New York.
Yeah, I'm the 6th borough. I'm not really North Jersey. I'm the 6th borough of New York. Let's see. We got Sean. Sean's in outer space, dude. Oh, the Beastie Boys on his shirt. What's up?
What's going on?
Yeah, man. All right, where are you coming from, and what's going on?
So I teach in Milwaukee, and this is our 3rd week of online learning. The first week and a half, I got really, really good results from my students because kept things really, really simple. And we were told, as we go, try to ramp things up a little bit just to try to deliver, the main stuff that we want them to learn. And it's kind of tapered off a little bit with my students as the novelty of online learning has kind of worn off. But I'd say probably 3/4 of my students are doing pretty much everything that I've asked them to online, which is mostly just reading and online quizzes and stuff like that and videos. And at least 90% of them have done at least something. There's only a few that haven't really done anything. So that's pretty actually encouraging and surprising.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. And who else do we get to? Let's get Matt Bloomquist. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
What's going on, man?
Oh, we're in our spring break. They said they went ahead and kept spring break as is. Although I've been fine doing what Frank's doing. Heck, we've been preaching for that idea to happen when we're in school. So I'm all for the 4-day thing. But no, we're on spring break. So I think we had 3 weeks there approximately. I think, and we had to do our learning opportunities, which the kids found out they weren't getting graded, so they said no on that. And I think about each teacher had, I don't know, out of my 30 kids I have, I think I had first this thing I put up there, 6 people did something. The second time, 3 people did something, and then it was crickets. So I was like, I didn't even fight it. I didn't, so spring break, they told us just shut her down, stay away from it. Monday for us, we go to officially our remote learning where we're going to do pass incomplete. But the district just already said that even though they can, I guess, not pass kids, they're going to pass everyone for the sake of no lawsuits down the road, which they're right. I mean, we can't, one kid doesn't pass or something, and the parent freaks out, or savvy lawyer figures out a way, and, they got a bigger headache than they wanted. But our main goal will be, obviously we'll be doing lessons and all that stuff, but the main goal is each week we have a chart for the high school teachers that every student has to be contacted in some form by at least one teacher to acknowledge, I guess, existence and well-being. So that way we just kind of keep a wellness check of all the kids. I know that's what the high school's doing. I think the junior high in our district's doing a similar thing. That's a good thing in junior high and high school, we're all one-to-one now with Chromebooks and stuff. I don't know what the situation is with kids, with how many do or don't have internet. I know when this started, I had students say, well, I don't have internet, and then they pull out their phone. So I was like, I think you're going to be okay. So we'll see. Starting Monday, I'm going to go with, who was it? Was it Jake doing the guest appearances with people, doing the hosting? I'm going with something that route. We will be, the kids, since I do the house building program, we're going to start planning the next year's house. So the architect we're going to be having is actually going to be pretty much running the show for me. We're going to do Zoom meetings. The kids are going to be involved in planning the house. They're going to draw up ideas. They're going to turn them into him. Well, I mean, to me, and then we'll send them to him. He's going to take their ideas and mesh it together with his ideas. And he's going to talk budget and planning and all this stuff that we would not have probably gotten to if we were working on the house. So yeah, I'm just going to be on the Zoom meetings watching as he does his magic. So he offered this idea to me, and I was like, yeah, let's do that. So
yeah, that's good.
I'm excited for that.
And are you so just in case people don't know what he's talking about, is that Matt Bloomquist is, and no, not just you, but like a lot of the shop teachers are contacting celebrities in the buildings and trades and getting them to do Zoom meetings with them for the kids, right? Is that the idea?
Yeah, pretty much. For me, mine's building, so I'm real fortunate to get connected to. Well, if you guys read Find Home Building, stuff like that, I was fortunate enough to get connected with the architects and builders and stuff, especially in the building science world. They kind of took me under their wing and really helped me out. And they're super excited for supporting the trades no matter what. And so for them, obviously they said, they even got some extra time. So why not, so for them, it's kind of a way to give back and stuff. And I'm obviously super appreciative. But yeah, like it just looks like, was it Jack or Jake? I forget his name. But he was getting hold of the woodworker guys on Instagram and YouTube and stuff. And I mean, had big time following and stuff. And, like you said, it was a simple, hey, you want to do this? And all those guys are usually all in for helping out and stuff. I mean, I know we kind of make them a big deal because they got a lot of followers and stuff, but man, they're just as cool and down to earth as the rest of us. And they started out in the same shop classes as we all did one time ago. So
yeah, well, Jake got George von Straka and from the Woodworkers Guild of America, and we found out, or I was listening to that, and he said that he's a trained shop teacher also. Oh yeah, that's awesome. So is Norm Abrams, actually. He's actually a trained shop teacher too.
Yeah, what's funny? Yeah. A lot of the people end up being like that. For instance, Jesse James' sheet metal mentor, Faye Butler. He was a shop teacher. Well, he trained to be one, but then just got into building custom cars and took off from there.
Who,
But
Jesse did?
Jesse James is mentor.
Mentor.
One of many mentors, but one of them is this guy, Faye Butler.
Oh, okay.
And he does English wheel, power hammer, sheet metal, compound curves, all kinds of stuff. You know, if you're going to build like an old school car or whatever. And that guy was originally going to be a shop teacher. A lot of people, you know, but I agree with reaching out to the celebs, even in the, I don't know if you guys watch like All Girl Garage, and there's a lot of Instagram. So the female shop teachers that do automotive out in California, they've been hooking up with all those, with the All Girl Garage crew, and they've been doing some Zoom meetings and whatnot. So it's like, yeah, like if anyone here could get like a celeb to jump in their lesson plans, I mean, that's kind of cool, you know. Definitely. Let's see. Let's get over to Nicholas. What's happening, man? Oh, you muted it.
I unmuted. Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Not highly attended. My attendance is dropping off. We were just told 2 days ago or yesterday, Cuomo said that we're out till the 29th. The state's closed down till the 29th. So our fourth quarter begins the beginning of next week. So our district hasn't nailed down on how we're going to grade for fourth quarter yet. So should be interesting. But
It'll be a no-fail situation like everybody else. You know, I was originally, you know, I had to put in grades on Saturday and Sunday night for my third quarter, and I was starting to stress it because there were people actually doing work, and there were people that were not doing work, and I was like, to be fair, I really do have to go in there and grade all this stuff. And then I got to, you know, 10:30 on a Sunday night, and I was getting tired, and I was like, what, you know, let me just review the notes from my meeting with my supervisor, and I remembered. He's like, oh, no one lower than 65 anyway. So I'm just like, ah. So then I just kind of threw in an extra, you know, participation points, and it just got everybody up to a certain line. So if you did the work, you got an A. If you kind of did a little bit of work, you got a B. If you did no work, you got like a C minus. At least you got by, you know, like, you know, I mean, it's not serious. I mean, I take the learning part serious, but the grade part, it's not possible to take it serious right now because the schools don't want you to take it serious right now. So, which is nice because it takes the stress off. But you know, obviously all of us here are passionate educators. So, you know, I take the learning part serious, and I came up with some good plans for the third week that went by. But we'll get that a little later. Let's see. Who's on iPad 38? Sorry, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Chris Davis from Henry Ford Second High School.
Nice. Welcome.
Thanks.
All right.
First time on here.
Yeah, welcome to the party.
Thanks. Yeah, so far, I haven't really put much on there. We're on spring break right now. It's supposed to roll out next week, or at least the beginning part of rolling out, because we're shut down for the year. So we're not coming back. I'm more concerned with the projects that are in there. I got seniors that invested a bunch of money in some of this stuff.
That was Tim talking about that last week, right?
Yeah, we talked about that last week. And, you know, I'm in the same boat. You know, I got some kids that brought in some stuff that they want to work on. And, you know, it's frustrating to me. Like, you know, these kids wanted to make this stuff. And, you know, next thing you know, now we're shut down and everything's in pieces. So.
Yeah, so I'm not I've talked with a few of the parents so far, and they've been pretty cool with saying, like, either just having other kids finish the project next year. We got some celebrity builds on hold right now, so I don't know. We'll see how that ends up. But
gotcha.
But I'm thinking that all I'm going to do, because I'm locked out of the shop right now, but once I can get back in there, I'm thinking I'm just going to make some videos of basic stuff that I go over every year, have the videos, so then that way I can use them again. Almost like a flip the classroom type thing, the stuff I hate wasting shop time for. where I can say, okay, tonight, watch this video, fill out this, answer this 5-10 question thing on Schoology, and then use shop time for more shop time at the beginning of the year, first quarter stuff. So,
Yeah.
Well, my wife has a friend down in Maryland, and they said that they've already made the announcement, be prepared to start next school year remotely. So.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'm trying to
drop that bomb out there for you.
Yeah.
Where's this? Where?
Maryland.
I'm trying to, I don't want to, I know that we're just trying to get by this quarter because it's, all new or whatever, but I want to have some sense to it to where I can reuse it. I don't want to just do something for this week and then the next week and then the next week and then throw it all out. I feel like if I'm going to put some effort into it, I might as well try to make something usable, that I can use for upcoming years.
Yeah. We'll get to a part of this, the meeting where everybody should mention what's working and what's not working. And then maybe you'll get some ideas from that. I agree. At first I just threw whatever at them. And then after that, I actually found something that hooked on and worked and got a good response. So I might be able to build on that, Well, let's jump over to JJ Ford. What's going on, man?
Hey. So last week, I was having probably 15, maybe 20 kids doing work. And last week, the superintendent announced that, because it was still kind of up in the air, people were still thinking that, hey, this is all going to be for a grade and it's going to count against my grade, right? And then they announced that it wasn't. And then I think I've got 3 to 5 students doing my work now.
Yeah.
So it was they threw away the one advantage we had.
Yeah.
So I actually did. I did some of Kevin Witt's lessons, some of his videos. He did some really good videos on SketchUp, and I was like, "There's no reason." It was the same program I was using. So
was it on Edpuzzle?
I didn't do any of that. I was just using his YouTube videos.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
And I reached out to him. I was like, "Man, these are awesome. Thanks so much." And like I'd mentioned before, where I'd only had my students for a week before all this happened, because where we switch over every 9 weeks. For instance, in one of his videos, he's talking about rabbit joints. Well, none of these kids know what rabbit joints are yet. So, I did sent them some videos on, basic joinery and stuff like that. And the kids that are doing it are getting something out of it, but it's just, no one's really, if the kids wanted to do it, they would do it. If not, they're in summer. It got warm and they're kind of in summer mode now, I think. So,
yeah. So now I think we got to everybody. Did we talk to Paul Klein at all? I don't see a video, but is he there?
Hey, sorry guys. Yeah, you caught me.
Okay.
I don't really have much to talk about yet as far as what's working, because I kind of just started this week. So
that's okay. Wait, Paul, I don't know what part of Canada you're in, because I'm American, so I don't understand geography. But anyway, that we did a podcast with a Canadian guy that did a video called Shop Class. It's a horror video. Did you ever see this? It's an animation. All right, when you get a chance, type in Shop Class. Or just listen to our podcast, and we interviewed this guy who did a horror story about Shop Class. Oh, just memories of the psychology, the mental abuse that his shop put him through. But he loved.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it made him into a bigger person. It was great,
Right on.
All right. Barbara check. Maybe you can put it in the text in the chat if you can, and then and Paul, you got to watch this video because it's made by the Canadian National Film Board, which is a big deal up there, right?
Oh, I have seen that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have seen that. It's from probably 15, 20 years ago.
No, it's like maybe 4 years old, not that old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also great animation and great. It's really funny. Like if you're a shop teacher and you don't laugh at this, you lost your sense of humor. It's great. It's hilarious. I mean, it's a horror movie, but it's hilarious. And then also we actually interviewed the guy. We found him. Like I tweeted, I found him, and he agreed to do the interview. It was so funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So if Barbara check, you could send him the thing. That would be great. Let's see. Okay, let's go to a round where what is working and what's not working. Okay. And for me, it's really simple. I was throwing them videos with questions and 25% return. The second week, I got about a maybe 30-40% return. But then on the third week, I actually sent them videos of me talking about the engine, the Briggs & Stratton. And all I did was say, draw me the engine as if the cover's open and show me the 4-stroke process and label the parts. And I thought no one was going to do it. And believe it or not, they did it, and they did it well. Like a lot of kids did it. They had beautiful drawings. Some of the drawings were like elongated and bubbled out, is because they're kids. But like still, it worked. They understand the 4-stroke process. They see the piston, all that stuff. And the reason I thought of that is because most of my kids are in apartments, which leads me to, kind of something to think about for everybody here is like, what do your kids have, And also, I forget her name, but there's a shop teacher and also Barbara Check's doing something where they're asking the kids, they're putting out a Google form, they're asking the kids, what tools do you have, right? My kids, it would be pencil, paper. I already know the answer. So I went to drawing. And so it got a good return. And you know what? The best part is it's actually nice to see creativity rather than checking off the boxes of like a questionnaire, of like, oh, you watched the video, who was in the video, what did you learn from the video, this and that, or true, false, or whatever. So on my third week, I did a creative project, which seems to be working. But I want to know what's going on with you guys. You got to tell me honestly, what is like dead on arrival, like what's not working and what's working, all right? So you could just, whoever wants to go first, I don't know. Let's see. Sean, you want to take this one?
Sure, I can go first.
Okay.
So one of the things that's really nice, we use Schoology. So like Google Classroom or whatever, it lets you set up folders where you can have students complete stuff in certain order. And I was really worried when we'd start this that if I put like a lesson or a video and then a quiz, they would just skip everything, go to the quiz, answer it just to get it over with. But it lets me force them to actually listen to my lessons before they can even open up the quiz. So that's been kind of nice, and being able to at least make them start the lesson and listen to a little bit of it. And then anything that I direct them to YouTube for, they seem to just do really well at. So my woodworking students, I had them watching, if you follow on YouTube, Steve Ramsey, Woodworking for Mere Mortals, he's doing basically a video a day during quarantine. And I had them watch like a 3-day series where he was making a specific project and basically just answer some questions based off of it. And yeah, anything that I direct them towards YouTube, they seem to really be receptive towards, more so than listening to me.
So it's called Schoolify?
Schoology.
Schoology. And how does it work? Just break it down. Like I've never even seen it before. I don't understand what it is.
It's a lot like Google Classroom, where you could put a lot of your stuff online. And basically what I do is I set up a folder for every day of class. The first thing in the folder is the instructions. I make them read the instructions. And then from there, they can move on to watch or read the lesson. And then after that, I found that doing a quiz works a lot better than trying to have them like write something out and upload a file or whatever. It's just very quick and easy. And they seem pretty receptive to that because it's pretty much as much as I don't like them being on their phones too much, it's pretty much all on their phone.
And but like I have Google Classroom, so if I put up information, it's not necessarily that they're gonna read it or like it or whatever. But you say you made them do it. Does that mean is it kind of like Edpuzzle? They can't opt out type of thing? Is that what you mean?
It makes you go step A to step B to step C, and it won't let you get to that final quiz or assignment or whatever until you've done all the steps so far, which sort of works. It holds them accountable, and then some of them see that they can't just go to the end of it, and they just don't even start.
Is anybody else here using Schoology? Is that what it's called? Is anybody else using Schoology?
I think our
yeah, we're using that.
grade school is.
Oh, sorry, JJ Ford. What?
I think what our local trade school is, our technical center is, because I saw an email earlier this week that mentioned, because I'm on one of their email threads because of a program we tried to start and then all this happened. So.
And who else is using it?
We're using it. It's and I've used it for like safety tests, so I don't have to grade them over and over again.
Yeah,
and make them get 100%. And we all know those tests. The written part is, it's not what's going to keep them safe. They're hands-on learners. So
yeah,
I just tell them that they got to take them. They got to get 100%, and I make them take them if it takes them 50 times, takes them 50 times, but to get through that part anyway. So I've used it a little bit in the past, but it's really simple to use, and it's automatically graded, and I like it.
All right, interesting. So going back to Sean, so is that a replacement for Google Classroom, or is it on top of, or you could do it instead of, or whatever?
Our school just does it school wide, and it's something that we actually purchased and paid for to get like they have a free version and then they have a paid version. And we use that because we don't really use any other Google stuff. We use Microsoft for all of our like Office and email and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I think the only difference between the paid and the free is the paid will get transferred to your school grade book. Where the free, it just goes to Schoology grade book. So that you could print out or, whatever you need to do to bring it over to, like we use Power School. So to transfer it over there. That's the only difference between the paid and not paid though.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we have Power School as well. All right, cool. All right, so who's next? Let's see. Do you want to jump over to Barbercheck? You want to talk to us about? Oh, because you're just getting started, right? So maybe you don't have much to report yet. What do you think?
Yeah, we are just getting started. I guess we've been behind the 8 ball compared to most, and our official online schooling I don't think has to start until April 28th. We're doing something I haven't heard yet that others are doing, which is we're sending the buses out to every house and dropping off. I'm gonna say the P word for you, and you're gonna hate it, but packets. Because I don't know if somebody said they are like 6 people without internet. I think we're at like 50% people without reliable internet, and like. I know Matt said that, they got their phone and stuff, and they all do. I can say 100% have their phone, but I've seen the prepaid data card they're using to use that phone. I've seen some of these households where they don't have a space to do what we're doing right now. I would say it's about 50%. Now, we've got a pretty small population, so it's a little bit unique to us. But, yeah, we're sending the bus out, and I'm excited about sending the bus out because – everyone's upset that like we removed grades so there's no accountability, but like I know on that bus is a bus driver and a student aide that the student knows, and just that I think that brief face-to-face, even if there's a mask on and someone's wearing gloves, contact's going to help hold these kids a little bit accountable. So I'm doing both digital and non-digital. If I post on Google Classroom, I create a non-digital version of it. If I do a Zoom meeting with students, I'm writing up a summary of that meeting, and that goes out as well. And then the non-digital stuff goes to both clients, you could say, both types of clients who are receiving, who can do the Zoom meetings, just because why not let them see it twice, and people who can't do it. So that's kind of one of some of the things I'm doing as far as we, starting to get these things going up. It's kind of cool being a little late to the game because I've been absorbing everything you guys are doing. I'm doing a glorified show and tell, and that's not even in the works yet, but I'm getting some pretty good response. So basically what I've done is told students, anything you're doing, show it to me. Snap it to me, Instagram to me, whatever. And then I'm stealing it and using it for Google Classroom content. So somebody sent me, they're repainting the cabinets in their kitchen. And all I'm going to do is create a bite-sized Google Classroom content that says, what sheen of paint do you think they're using? Here are the sheens of paint. You got eggshell, flat, semi-gloss, gloss. Just simple engagement thing. I'm also, to get around the grades thing, this is something I've been working on. I'm sure it's been mentioned in the podcast before, but I've been working on this like classroom economy model where students can earn credits. Well, I'm just telling students they can earn credits like crazy. I'm like, hey, if you write me a blog post, you get 50 cents, or I don't know about 50 cents, but 10 cents per word for whatever you write in material allowance. So when you come back to school, you can buy that much more cherry, walnut, maple, whatever, 3D printer time, metalworking time. If you do, like right now, the Builders Challenge is on Instagram and they just host like good building challenges. I was like, if you do one of those, man, you get like a $20 bonus. And then I'm gonna see if local companies will donate some prizes that if they don't want to cash it out for maybe their next project in the shop, then cash it out for a Dairy Queen gift card or something. I'm looking at this and these kids, I don't care if they don't digest my stuff. As much as I love woodworking and that type of thing, if they can lead a platoon on Call of Duty, then I guess so be it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in it for I'm not in it to try and like conform them to my way of thinking, and then it's kind of cool if they do choose my content over that. That's a great pat on the back, even if it's only 5 to 10%. That would be huge. Look at any marketing campaign, you only get 5 to 10% engagement. So that's kind of my approach to it all. I think we're a little different because we got the bus route thing going on. And I'm gonna hack that too from a marketing perspective. I've already included personal notes to some, and I've got a smaller population base, so I realize that's not realistic for a lot of people. But I'm sneaking those in, and I'm gonna hit them at the screen, hit them pencil and paper, and then I'll even sneak secret messages to the bus drivers, and they'll deliver it. So I'm just going at it, and I think I sympathize with these kids more than anything. I mean, this is tough.
Yeah, it's not easy. Well, that's great. I mean, just to highlight some of the things Barbercheck talked about is that, he's got this plan to, economize or make it like almost like a incubator. You have to earn credits to get access to materials, and you have to sell your result and products and stuff. And that's great. And then also use what you got, don't force the kids to do anything and kind of see what they're up to. That's great, man. I think it's awesome what you're doing. All right, let's jump over to someone who came in and didn't say hi yet. I don't know your name, but you got a red shirt and you're looking kind of cool. I like you already. What's your name? Oh, you got to unmute it.
My name is Roy Castillo. I teach in San Jacinto, California. It's that Desert West Wood Shop on social media.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So who I've worked with this last week is my advanced students, and then those students that are failing my class. just to see if I can get some content out to them. Kind of across the board, my advanced students have either immediately said no to the Google Meet because they know how I feel about grades and that it's not usually what drives our progress in the shop. They also know that in our state and in our district that everything's your grade is either going to stay where it is or it's going to get better. And if you're an advanced student and you don't succeed at a level that I think is appropriate, I just call your mom instead of giving you a bad grade, because it's small classes, right? You know, if I've had a kid for 3 years, I'm just gonna say, hey, what's going on with this kid? And usually it's that there's something else, right? Something outside of class that's keeping them from being successful, and it usually is temporary. It's not usually anything too big. And then I have 2 kids that are failing my intro class. And again, that's because of stuff that's going on outside of class. So I've got that one of the 2 boys is super on it. And I told mom, because in our state, at least for right now, again, your grade can only stay where it is or get better. And this student is failing everything because of what's going on with him and his home life. So I told mom that if the teacher loves him and he's harassing her, he'll probably pass. And if the teacher doesn't particularly enjoy him, if she's got a grade or he's got to grade a whole bunch of, Jose's work, he'll probably still pass. And this would be a good opportunity for him to build some confidence in school, especially if he passed all of his classes. I think that if I had to speak towards him without looking it up, he's probably failed every class since the 6th grade, because that's when they start grading in California. Tawny, that's correct, right? Students don't get grades before the 6th grade.
Yeah, I think we just get sheet grades.
Yeah, so I just asked my wife because she keeps track of stuff like that. I think like a decade ago in California, we got rid of grades pre-5th grade. So you get marks, you get like remarks. So needs more time, proficient, stuff like that. And so a student will get needs more time in everything all the way until middle school. And then in middle school, they'll just get straight Fs. They get used to it. And then in the 9th grade, they take wood shop. And that's usually my population. So I don't win kids over by giving them bad grades, or grades aren't, there's this weird economy with grades, at least at my site with my boys.
Wow, interesting. That's interesting. All right, and how many weeks are you into it? Is it same like New York? It's you're on like almost week 4, or?
I feel like week 1 is more reasonable. I sent out some comments to parents because I've got of course, everybody's got a high SPED population. So I reached out to those kids 2.5 weeks ago to make sure that they understood the grading policy. And then immediately I was probably the first teacher to contact them. So immediately all their moms called the district office. And so the brakes got put on. But that's kind of what's been going on over here.
All right. That sounds good. So if we see you next week, just let us know what doesn't work, what's working. We got to know about this. Something that was helpful for me was just tearing through the stuff that doesn't work. Just get rid of it. And then listening to people on the podcast and, just listening to educators and find out what they're doing, because we're in a fast failure to succeed rate to get to engagement,
So one of the things I've been working on with my district is, the ideal. And the ideal would be some sort of hermetically sealed shop access, which isn't going to happen. But where there's been a little bit of leeway, and I'm going to start working on in the next 2 weeks, is getting some of my projects sent home that it would be appropriate to work on. I don't want to send, and I don't mean to pick on anybody. I feel like I saw someone make projects to send home to kids, and they were just, things you could, pop together and nail together. But for my 12th graders that aren't going to be returning, most of their projects are, stone's throw to being finished. And so if I can send those projects and materials home with something that's not going to burn mom's house down, that would be really worth it. So that's probably.
Yeah, go ahead.
that's probably what I'll have remarks on in 2 weeks. Next week is our spring break, and considering I haven't gotten kids to do much in the last week, I would imagine that next week would be really quiet. But it's not bad. I appreciate the tactful decline of a Google Meet invitation, especially when it's instant. I really do think that's kind of awesome that they're at least learning that. I got to teach my boys that a maybe is probably worse than a yes or a no. But yeah, what were you going to say, Ron?
Oh, do you have access to the shop? Is that why you have this idea to send the stuff home?
So I was talking with the person that helps me with my budget today, and we were kind of just spitballing, talking about these things. And he told me that the elementary is having kids come to school for packets. 1 day a week, there's like a 4 or 5 hour window. The teacher's there, they set the packet down, the kid comes up, they like make a line in the parking lot or something. I don't quite understand the logistics, but I would only be talking about 10 or 12 advanced students. Well, 10 or 12 seniors that were nearly done with the project. There are more students that, I just started a project, or that just started to lose steam and hadn't started the next project. But for those kids that really just need to apply a clear finish, that's wipe on, that's something that could certainly be done.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say they're going to come in, or are you going to send it home with them?
No, they would be coming in. This hasn't been approved. This is what I'm working on. So then, like 2 weeks.
I agree with that. See, now, like, if they said to me, okay, I said this before, and you came into the meeting later, but I think if they called me up and said, first responder parents, you can send your kids in, and if that means I have like 1/8 or 1/4 of the students, I don't mind. I'll put a mask on, this and that. But it's kind of unreasonable to not roll it out, especially for the first responders. Like, why should they have? And maybe they want their kids at home, but if they don't, and they're looking to get their kids back to school, like I mean, they got to roll it out. And why can't you have 1 or 2 kids come in with a reasonable amount, reasonable distancing and stuff like that? I don't know. I'm not opposed to that. I was actually thinking that that's what they should start doing. I mean, they got to do something eventually. We can't do this forever. You know what I mean? It's like, unless
in
they
the state of California, the governor kind of contradicted the person at the California Department of Education in saying that the after school programs could be funded and housed for first responder, parents or parents that do need to go to work. But again, California is a huge local control state. So I feel like we can do anything we don't want to do, but doing something we've been told not to do is not okay, which doesn't make sense to me at all in local control. Like, if we're saying that there are going to be winners and losers, then why can you only pick to lose more? Why couldn't we, gamble? But again, I know that my district and personnel doesn't want to be liable for their woodshop teacher getting, sick.
Yeah, I said this to an alumni friend, and he was like, dude, it's not about that. It's liability,
Well, in the same regards towards liability, that's why I have a problem with telling the kids, hey, go home and go work on something. Because if somebody works on something and you say, hey, go work on this or X, Y, and Z, use a hammer, use a nail, and that kid gets hurt somehow, next thing you know, that somebody could start looking at an attorney and being like, well, my shop teacher told me to do that. And because I wasn't there directly supervising them, whose certificate are they going after? They're not going after the parents. They're going to go after mine, and then they're going to go after the school district. So I have a problem with saying, go home, go in your garage, and go build something, because I don't need that liability of some kid getting hurt.
So what I did was I made it optional. Yeah, well, it is optional because it's not for a grade. So I just put the disclaimer out there with administrator approval that anything Mr. Barbercheck offers or says is a suggestion. And the disclaimer that it should be done with adult supervision is thrown on there, just like it's thrown on there with any Lego set you buy.
I just feel that anybody can just read past that, so that's why I'm going safe. Like we've talked about for the past 4 or 5 weeks, is go safe. I'm doing paperwork, and, photocopying out, division of actual numbers, and I'm going that route. And it's
But
I've gotten more response from that though than I did actually the kids doing a career report.
Nice.
Through a Google form,
Let me jump in. Let me jump in and just. I don't know if anybody's following Becca Levy. Does anybody ever see this before? Is it reversed in the visual?
No, we can read it.
Oh, okay. She does great stuff. She's doing like how to make a square out of cardboard, like your own square at home.
Yeah, she was on last week.
Yeah. And I started following her stuff, and she's going out to nature. So I'm just throwing this out there as this is another idea, is that use what you got type of thing, and identifying different types of trees based on the leaf shape and stuff like that. And then she's got all kinds of projects where she's doing like she did like a level. She's dropping a string across the books to figure out if it's level. You can hang it from a thing. So there's a lot of different approaches, and I don't know which one works because it depends on your district, and the type of kids you have. But there's like creative work. There's the safe bet with, there's videos. There's but the main thing is that it's not one thing's going to work for everyone here. So that's why we kind of go around and say, hey, what's working, what's not working. And then this way, you kind of learn a lot from each other. Let's see.
Please let me clarify. So I'm talking about 12th graders who've been in my class for multiple years using Minwax polyacrylic, which is it's not water-based, it's not oil-based, but you can coat over oil-based. They're going to be putting it on with a rag. There's really no risk.
How dare you? That sounds really risky, man. I don't know.
So I do want to give that a little bit of perspective. I don't disagree with anybody doing paperwork.
I'm writing it down, and I'm going to send it to the lawyers, No, it's all good. We get it. I mean, you can't be like, hey, go in the garage and required by grade to get out a table saw or get out a circle saw and
Yeah. If it'll fit on an angle grinder, it's safe.
Yeah, I actually got hit in the eye today with a tiny piece of metal, and I was wearing glasses, and I was using a scroll like a jigsaw with a metal cutting blade. Never happened before in my life.
Yeah, but that's the one freak chance that's going to happen, and it's going to be you're going to be on the fence for that. That.
No, Tim, 100%. 100%. I was, I'm just saying, I need to. Who can I sue? Who do I get to sue? What is this?
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Could we borrow your table saw?
You're viewing Paul Klein. Oh,
it's
virtual learning begins for BC students. We've got shop class this afternoon. Can we borrow your table saw?
I kind of honestly wish that my kids would go ask their neighbors about their equipment, but not right now.
Funny. That's actually pretty funny. I like that. Oh, look, he's drawing on it. How do you do this? I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. How do I get back to? I don't know how to use Zoom, to be honest. I don't know what I'm doing.
The thing is, like, I don't want to be that case that everybody talks about. Like, hey, that shop teacher that told me to go out and go get my table saw from my neighbor,
Oh, Tim, you're definitely you're going down, buddy.
Like,
that makes sense.
I'm sorry.
I think people just have to know their audience, and what risks they can take. If Desert West Woodshop over there knows he's dealing with 12th graders and put finish on, and and it's just a risk analysis. I think Mike Rode does the whole safety third mindset. If we were truly safety first, we wouldn't ever leave the house, which is kind of the state of the world we're in now. So,
oh my God, right?
Quarantine.
His mindset, like everything comes with risk, right? Like everything has risk, and I think we all just have to do risk analysis. you should look at your audience. You should look at your administrators. You should trust their judgment. I want to undercut an administrator by any means. But like, I'm looking at it and I got small class sizes, know my parents, know my audience, my administrators know what I'm doing. And I think in some ways it's more risky. I'll give you an example. My girlfriend's looking at setting up the library in a very quarantine, sanitary way. And it was like, she's like, well, I don't know if I want to take on the risk. I was like, it might be more risky to not let these kids have access to books, right? Like, what's the long-term risk of that? If you have a plan that's approved by pretty much the same thing that the U.S. Postal Service would do, then you're good. And she's going for it, and
Nice.
and she's going through the school board approval process and everything else. But it's kind of one of those things. You've got to do a risk analysis. That's part of your profession. We do it every day, right? What projects can we do with kids, and decide what risk is worth it for your audience. And I think all of us have a liability noose around our neck at all times, no matter what. I mean,
like some of my students used to bring stolen cars to the class, so at some point. Is that what you're talking about, Matt?
I hope that's true.
No, that's something else. Okay.
I mean, I just don't want to sound like super safety,
No, you're right.
I just want to make no. And I understand.
It makes sense, Tim.
Yeah.
You're good. It's all good. It's all good. You can't tell the kid, grab a nail gun and start doing this or that. Yeah, of course not.
So
I told him to try something basically to possibly reinforce what we did in CAD. Like we drew in SketchUp a picture frame, and I was like, this is really simple. You should show this plan to your parents, and if that's something you guys think you could do together, you should build it.
Yeah.
So, the actual lesson was drawing it in SketchUp, but at the end I was like, hey, here's the whole plan for this. If you got this stuff sitting around, show it to your parents, see if it's something you think you can do.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's move around.
I had a student. I was gonna say I had a student beg his mom to let him remodel their bathroom, and he did it, and it turned out really good.
Really?
Yeah, I gutted the whole thing and got it all. He was a senior. I mean, he's helped me on side projects in the summer, so he was definitely capable. But yeah, he somehow convinced his mom to let him gut the only bathroom they have in the house and redo it. It worked.
Bloomquist, are you still on-site building, like, and completing the house?
Yeah. So this talk about putting more work on me. So for any of you guys that don't know, for what my program, we build a house from ground up, and we just relaunched this program we've had forever this year, and it has been going great. We were at the point where we were finishing drywall, and then that's when we got our shutdown. So I've been going to the house. I usually go in the mornings. Right when we first locked down, I had 2 former students that were seniors last year came and helped get mud and tape and stuff on the walls, along with one of our science teachers at junior high is a really good drywall finisher. So we'd go to the house and work together. I mean, even with us, just 3 of us there, or 4, I think at the most, we were able to stay away from each other, weren't sharing tools and all this stuff. And then our little town of 10,000 just got slammed with this, and like we've already had deaths and everything. And so like 2 days after we get shut down, I was like, all right, it's just me. Now the science teacher comes in, like I'll be in the morning, he'll come in early evenings or late afternoons, and I'll do the bulk of the work and he'll do the finishing, like making it look nice, because I'm just not as good at it yet right now. But yeah, I go there every morning or every day at least, work for a few hours, come home. help out around the house, play with the kids, get things, whatever we got to do. I got my own homework with a master's class, and so, but yeah, we went from supposed to be done with the house at end of May to I have no idea. It's
Where are you at now?
drywall finishing.
Where are you now? So next time we talk.
Say that again.
What? Where? What part are you on now?
Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, what part of the house you working on now?
But still, we're just about finished with drywall finishing. We're getting things, the final touches, getting ready for texture in the ceiling and start priming the wall. So I'm hoping by the end of the month to have flooring down, and maybe even the cabinets just showed up. So they're sitting in the garage. So it's we got a little bit left to do on the outside. So I don't know. It's it's one of those things I can carry it over to next year, but this puts us in a spot where we're going to be starting the next year's house. And if winter sets in early here or whatever, we could be stuck, either not under roof in time when the weather turns bad, or be working inside when we don't have a way to keep heat in or something. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just plugging away. We'll get where we get. It is what it is.
Yeah, I hear you. Emma, what's working? What's not working? And how long you been online?
Yeah, so, well, I kind of in the similar situation as Barbara. I literally had a Zoom meeting with our administration today on the final plan moving forward. And so up until this point, the last 2 weeks, I've really just been throwing stuff at them, it feels like. And not that means that the stuff is bad. Kind of just they know it's not graded and they know it doesn't count. So if you're bored and you want something to do, here's some material. I don't remember who posted it, but the DIY Lowe's challenge, somebody in this group posted that. And I gave that to them, and I think one student did it, which is unfortunate. But it was one student who has a bad home life, and it gave her some satisfaction to do something. So I count that as a win. And then additionally, I've had this idea of like you had said, with the creative side of things. I thought that if they could do a sketch 10 minutes a day with a relevant theme. So this week's theme is if they're going to fix one thing in each part of their house. So I mostly teach woodworking. So if they could make something for each room of the house that would improve either the aesthetic of the room or anything like that, what would they do? So Monday was the kitchen, and Tuesday was their bedroom and bathroom. So stuff like that. Really right now it's just giving them stuff that's optional. And then today we learned that our ISD is really expecting us. They and
say it again. What was
the 30 minutes on Friday.
What's ISD?
Because Forest District only one school in it, 12 school. It's a bunch of in a.
I think your internet's cutting out.
Radius that
right?
Have
Yeah, she's cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, Emma, you're cutting out. Sorry.
I think she's just trying to describe the ISD as the intermediate school district. So it's the bigger. You got your small district, and then the district that oversees some districts. But I gotta shout Emma out real quick. She's a first-year teacher, and I've been to her shop and I've checked out what she's doing, and she's gonna. I think our relationship started out. She's watching me what I'm doing, but I'm secretly totally watching her and what she's doing. She's just kicking ass.
That's great. Can you imagine your first year was the Corona year? You know?
My first year was during, I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was during the West Virginia water crisis.
Dude, I'm from Jersey. I don't even know what.
It made like it was one of the few times West Virginia made national news. So it was a big deal to us. But yeah, like the whole southern part of the state didn't have clean drinking water. So we were out of school for like 2 months.
Wow.
And actually that was when not where I grew up in West Virginia, where I live now, but I'd moved down south to teach to get a job. And that was in kind of like the southern coal fields of West Virginia, like stereotypical people think of when they think of West Virginia. And we didn't have, it was strange. Like we didn't have a full week of school. Like there was always like the power was going out all the time. But yeah, we had like almost 2 months off for the West Virginia water crisis.
And was it similar to this where you went online or you just did nothing?
Nothing.
I
would probably say only maybe 10% of my students had internet. Boone County, West Virginia is extremely rural. And extremely, in a very poverty area. So it was just like, we're just not at school. It was like snow days for 2 months.
It's kind of funny how we're even doing the online. Why did they just cancel the whole thing? I don't think it's a good idea. I'm just saying it's interesting that in that scenario, they didn't cancel it. But in this scenario, they, when I graduated college, 9/11 happened. I was in Brooklyn and they blew up the city,
Yes, day 5 of teaching for me was 9/11.
It's crazy, Yeah,
that was my 5th day, 9/11. 5th day of teaching, 9/11.
I was out on the island, so 4 days after it happened, I smelled all the smoke. So.
Wow. All right, let's go, Frankie. Frankie, what is working? What's not working? Tell us the truth.
So we're halfway through our 4th week. We had about a week and a half notice before all this happened. Our superintendent had met with us and said, "This is coming. Get ready." So we were in pretty good footing to get started that day. One of the things I did, I mentioned it in the chat, but I just started Googling things, and I found somebody did like a little PowerPoint presentation on joinery. So it was like a worksheet the kids filled out where the different types of joinery. They had to explain what it was, find a photo, find uses. The next week, I had them do a scavenger hunt around their houses to try to find things in their home cabinets, whatever, that use them, and that worked out pretty well. And then we're going to move into drawing them on SketchUp, the different types of joinery. The new thing we did this week was that we've been told that we have to meet in person. It's not required, but for our kids, you have to be available once a week. So I've been actually spending my time volunteering with a small group at the Habitat for Humanity site or near the school. So still working to get that done for them. So I meet my construction kids online and we talk about that. Today was the first day I was supposed to meet my introduction to woodworking kids, which are 9th and 10th graders, and not one kid signed on. So that was a real good use of my time.
Wait. When you say in person, do you mean live on Zoom or?
Yeah, well, Google Hangout. It's not required.
Not in person. That's just live.
Yeah, it's not required. Well, I mean, they're there too. But you're right. It's but we have to offer it that they have the ability to interact with us and their other classmates. But yeah, not one kid.
Trust you not to get caught in your PJs. Because my district put the kibosh right away. No live meetings. And I should mention, I don't know what you guys are going through as far as your role, like what they're doing, but what I found was that even though I'm expected to sign in at 8 a.m. and sign out at 12:45, right? Even though that's the case for me, the kids are not expected to be live, which I thought was, I have to respond to them live. I have to do something live. I got to tell you, the kids do the work. They just don't do it on that schedule. And I'm okay with that. So I don't know if you guys experience the same thing. I see some people shaking their heads, like nodding. Yeah, like they can just do whatever they want. It depends on the kids. Some kids are up at 8 a.m. Some do the work at 12 at night. What do I care? So the pressure, luckily, is off me to be live with them on the computer. It's like almost impossible to manage, like 60 or 100 kids, like on chasing down the email. It's stupid.
I think that's one of the great things about this format, though, where you're talking about like kids get, like there's some kids that need an hour and a half in English class and they need 30 minutes in shop class or vice versa, or, so finally, how many times have you given an assignment out and some kid has it done in 15 minutes and some kid needs 3 days to do it?
I agree, JJ Ford, 100%. I think the other thing too we can hack with this is you can reach the kids at their actual like decent energy levels. 8 a.m. is not when a teenager is the most productive. And probably half of us eat as well. I know Ron and I are probably not the most productive at 8 a.m. So I agree, JJ. That's a great point. It's very tempting to look at this and think, oh man, this sucks. And it's draining. Like I posted today that it's more exhausting than real teaching. And I never thought anything would be more exhausting than real teaching ever. But there are kind of those silver linings, like what you mentioned, JJ Ford, that we can hack and maybe get good at hacking it and interweave it into the old model.
I think, Matt, what is more exhausting though is going along the lines of thinking, what's next? I think that's just wearing on you. Like, what am I going to do tomorrow, or what am I going to do next week? As compared to being in a shop, what next week is, because you got sanding, you got assembly, you got finishing, that, and you're slowly working up to that timeline and that status of, okay, at this point, we're going to move on to the next project. But right now, it's like, you got to be like, well, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow yet. I don't even know what I did yesterday, so that's still wearing on me.
I know exactly how you felt. My first week was like that. My second week was like that. But my third week, when I put out a creative project, literally I just put it out there. Here, draw the engine, label the parts, and it described the 4-stroke process in a cartoon. And then I sat back and I checked everything on Friday, and that's how I knew what was coming. Then I did a follow-up question. Hey, you guys want to do this with cut out paper and make it actually, place it on the table and stuff? And actually a lot of them were like, yeah, we could cut it out of paper. So if you do a creative project, then you're not doing the hamster wheel. You're doing a longer term thing with steps. Maybe, I don't know if that helps.
In my carving class, I have the kids doing a color pencil rendition of some animals. That's what's next. So
there you go.
But I got 4 preps, and I think like with Matt, you get all these preps. It's not like I have 1 prep and I'm doing the same thing 4 or 5 times a day. I'm doing, all these things multiple times during the day, where I'm going from electronics to carving to civil engineering to woodworking and manufacturing. So
yeah, you're super productive. Like, I don't know if people follow Tim, Zavaki Tech Ed on Instagram, but Tim does like multiple stuff. Like, he's doing so many diverse things. It's amazing.
Yeah, because I've taught everything from graphics to mechanical drawing all the way up to civil engineering and wood carving to graphic design. So, I mean, I've taught 25, 26 different courses.
The coolest thing you got, okay, there's a lot of cool stuff, but if everybody checks out his wood turning, they actually glue all the different types of woods together, and then they turn it, and it just looks
the laminating
like it's like you're going to a crafts fair and you're checking out like the coolest stuff. It's great what he does.
Yeah, well, thank
his
you.
scroll saw work is really cool too, but he hates scroll sawing.
I hate the scroll saw. I hate it.
but you do such a damn good job at it.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad. I used to be like you, Tim. I had multiple classes. I did the drafting, the AutoCAD, the 3D modeling, intro to industry, home repair and maintenance. And then this year I have 2 sessions, building a house. I mean, it's its own stress in its own way for sure. But at the same time, like this, the teacher that took over for me, he's got to figure out 4 different things. And I'm like, I don't know. I got to figure out one thing, I guess. And so I'm glad I'm not doing that anymore. I'm glad I'm specialized, but I'm with you, Ron, like the creative process, that I think whenever Steve, our architect, like mentioned this to me, he's like, hey, you mind if can we get the kids on the Zoom meeting and I'll have them, be involved in this whole planning, and they draw up the idea of the house and stuff. I was like, heck yeah, because now it's not really homework. It's not, it's a project, but it's more of a project, and that's what they were working on. They want to do projects. That's their, all of us, our kids want to do things. They want to put those puzzles together and whatever. So when he mentioned that, I was just like, dude, I will sit here on the Zoom and make sure nobody is making, typing their name in rude ways or showing whatever come up creatively to show us on the screen, and you do your thing and I'll just watch. And, so I'm excited about that. You're right. That creative process, putting something together, that's what the kids wanted to do anyway. And now they get to do that. And it's stress-free. Like, they know there's no F that could happen. It's that they literally get to do whatever they want, how they want to do it for the most part. And if it sucks, who cares? They're not going to get an F. They're not going to get in trouble. Heck, maybe it gives them actually something to do that day rather than, sit around and playing video games. Although I'm sure if I got good at video games and just logged on there, I could probably reach half my students that way. So.
Well, that's where they all are, dude. This is like, right now everybody's doing that. I have no idea how. I wouldn't even know where to look, but apparently that's where they all are.
That and Snapchat.
What?
That and Snapchat.
Yeah. Oh, and TikTok.
He crashed it today.
TikTok.
Robert Check has a teenager. He actually knows all this stuff. He knows the TikTok. He'll do the dance. He'll do a little dance around. I want to go back to Frank for a second. What?
I don't do the dances, but I do post on TikTok.
Yeah, man. I want to go back to Frank for a second. I feel like I cut you off and I was just commenting and then it kind of bounced around. So Frank, tell us again what's working and what's not working. You're doing the wood joinery. And now you're meeting with the kids a little bit. You're meeting with them one-on-one.
As a group, like the whole class has a time. So like we did 10 o'clock today for one of my classes, 10:45 for the other.
So is that working? The kids show up?
So I have 23 in total in my construction classes. I got 7 on today, which was more than last week.
All right.
The woods class, nobody came. No, but it's not required for them to. Our work is required. So what I've been doing is if they sign on, I then give them a pass on one of the homework assignments for the week.
Okay.
That's been helping a little bit. The other thing I did, and they all commented they really like it, is, and maybe some of you are doing the same, so I give them a week's worth of assignments on Sunday and say they're due by midnight on Friday. And some kids do like all 4 on Sunday. Others are emailing it to me on Saturday asking if I'd still accept it a little bit late. What my students were saying is that they have a lot of teachers that are just giving them like a day's worth of work at a time. And they really appreciated that I was like, you know what, life's crazy right now. Just take the time you need. If you do it at midnight or you do it at, at whatever, like one of my classes meets technically 10 o'clock every day. If you do it at that time, that's fine too. But a lot of them really said that they appreciated. They just know what they have to do for the week and can plan it around whatever they want to do.
Now, I should also mention that, I don't know if people know, but Frank you're the executive director, right, of the NATEEA, which is the New Jersey Technology Education Association. And we go to meetings. I actually got into teaching because of that group. And what happened was I was just figuring out if I want to be in teaching. And I didn't even know there was shop class. I actually originally just wanted to get an art teacher job. And then at night I would just work on cars. That's all I really want to do anyway, is just mess around with like cars and stuff. So then this one art teacher was like, well, my ex-husband's a shop teacher. And I was like, what's this shop teacher? He's like, well, you get to teach about engineering or whatever. I was like, they teach that? Because I didn't have it growing up. And then, I didn't even know, and so then I got to meet him, and he let me shadow his class. He was teaching like AutoCAD or something, like R13 AutoCAD, And so I said to him, I really want to do this. And he said, well, if you really want to do this, you want to get a job, you're going to have to join the Tech Ed Association. And it wasn't Frank, the director at the time, but the same association. And I don't even know if Kenny was the one involved, but Dave Janos was there and stuff like that. And and anyway, so I went to a meeting and I paid my $50. At the time it was $50 for joining. And they were like, so you're not a teacher, but you joined, and what are you doing here? I was like, well, I went to school for product design and I want to switch into teaching. And they were like, wow. And the next day I got an email of an opening. Responded to the email. Day after that, got the interview. Day after that, got the job. It just fast, So the Tech
$50 ever spent, huh?
And I missed it. What'd you say?
I said best $50 you ever spent.
Oh yeah, unbelievable! I got my money's worth there. I got a whole career out of it. It was unbelievable. And So then, but what I want to just give you a shout out, because now, is anybody else here part of their state association? Not the union, but like, the Tech Ed Association?
Yeah, I am.
Very loosely.
Okay. Go ahead, Matt Van Arsdale.
Michigan has one that's been around since about 1928, and they do a yearly student project competition and conference, which of course was canceled. It's going to come up at the end of April, beginning of May. So it starts off as student projects go to regionals at a local school, and then if they place top 4 in that project category, they can move on to state.
That's cool. It's kind of got an echo in here now. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah. I just want to give Frank a shout out and the Tech Ed Association. And Tim's part of that as well. And but yeah, I mean, it's been real helpful. I guess it's state to state, and then there's also the international or the national one, which I've never been to.
Yeah, actually, I was at the conference when kind of this whole thing blew up. It got cut halfway short, so we had 2 of the 4 days of the conference in Baltimore this year. But I
was supposed to go.
Yeah, the International Technology and Engineering Educators Association, which I'm also involved with that.
Yeah, Tim was supposed to get an award, and then they canceled the whole thing because nobody wants to get an award to Tim. So
yeah, Tim's award is actually sitting in my living room right now. So at some point, when I can see him again, he'll get it.
He has my award.
Yeah, they're like, we gave it to him, man. Just tell him we're not here. I don't know.
I paid $50 for that award too.
We can do the ceremony right now if you want, Tim. Frank can grab it and we'll just do it.
Well,
thank you.
I feel like does anybody else have questions or something they wanted to cover? We kind of did a round table thing, and we're watching Paul type something on his computer, and we got Sean. He's commanding the Starship Enterprise, and
that was a total mistake.
Yeah, Emma's sitting in her grandma's house somewhere. I don't know what she's doing, and
That's so mean.
I'm just joking around.
I was gonna say something nice, but I don't know now.
Not to Ron.
Maybe as like a final note for me. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been really thankful to be in this group because especially with my first year, I've gotten a lot of projects and stuff out of it. So it's been really, really nice for me. So thanks. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I mean,
not to you, Ron. It's to everyone else. So
except for me. Yeah, this group is awesome. Like you know what I mean? It's such a cool thing. When Barbacek and I, first started out doing the podcast thing, it was really just because we couldn't believe how many shop teachers were disconnected. And we really the whole goal is just to get everybody together and start telling the stories and asking the questions that I think are beneficial to everyone. So yeah, I mean, this is a cool group. And
one thing I'll highlight real quick, I think that's unique about this group. Somebody hopped on last week and said that they were meeting with like all the shop teachers in their region, and they're like, we got nothing out of that meeting, and within the first 15 minutes of our meeting, they're like, I got something out of it. And Ron and I kind of reflected on that. And one things we realized is there's no hierarchy here. We can make fun of Ron, and he's not gonna give us the boot later on when layoffs come around, and I think as you guys kind of establish networks in today's day and age, that's an advantage to Hack, is network with people where there's no hierarchy, and then we can bullshit. And I don't know if that's why that person had more takeaways, but I got to thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, you get into a meeting with everybody within your district, and you're walking on ice sometimes, on thin ice. So I think that's unique about this group, is that
yeah, well said. That's well said. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Anybody?
Yeah, I got something real quick. This has been great. I mean, like everyone said, hey, Liam. Sorry, I lost where I was going with that. My 3-year-old distracted me. So tentatively tomorrow, we're trying to get tomorrow. Like I said, I've been very fortunate with some connections I've gotten. I'm supposed to be on a, quasi-advisory panel of a few other shop teachers tomorrow with Fine Home Building editor. Which is really cool. And that was one reason I wanted to make sure I got on this one again, because pretty much what I've been doing is taking all of our ideas, because, I mean, one of us, may have a good idea, but everybody, as a group, we've had really good ideas. So I appreciate all this and everybody sharing stuff, because what's happening, at least I know we're all kind of different kinds of shop teachers, whether it's wood, mechanics, for me, home building, so we're kind of all across the board, but we're all trades. And, things like Fine Home Building, these guys are really taking a big interest in the education side. And in some of these bigger companies, I was fortunate enough to get hooked up with Huber Wood, which is a big time sheeting company here in the United States and stuff. And Rockwool, it's Canada and US and stuff, and all these companies and everything are really, really excited about what's happening in the trades and at the school, and are really, they're desperate for our kids to come out and be able to come to work. I don't know if you guys get to experience this or not, but I've been very fortunate enough to have a lot of people reach out and be like, this is great. What you guys are doing. And I always tell them about, oh my gosh, I'm connected with these guys in the building world. But I go, the other niche that I'm in here on Instagram is this shop teacher group. I said, there's like 30 of us on this private message. I said, we started doing Zoom meetings. I said, they go on for like an hour at least. They're a blast. So much good information is being swapped around. I don't know what the English teachers or math teachers are doing out there. I don't know if they have their own little groups, but, as far as a shop teacher, I know Barbacek and I have talked about this, we're kind of in an island, on our own island. It always seems like even at the school building, we're over there somewhere, or out across the parking lot somewhere, or I'm across town somewhere. For all of us to kind of come together and do this is really great. And everything, I just let you guys know, everything is talked about. I'm going to, whenever we have this meeting with those guys, I'm going to take all this stuff, I've been making notes and stuff. It's all coming over there from the last meeting and stuff. I come through the the when you guys posted the Zoom meetings, I wasn't on. I would come through those on YouTube real quick, just to steal ideas and stuff. So
Cool.
if you guys think of anything you want me to share, because one of the questions they even said was, as far as Fine Home Building goes, as the magazine, and and Taunton Press, they're even in charge of Fine Woodworking. What's something they can do to help all of us out in the shop class industry? So if you guys think of something, whatever, the meeting hasn't officially been set. We're trying to get the people that's going to be in this thing round up for hopefully tomorrow afternoon. But if you guys think of something, or you want to add something, or you think, hey, it'd be really cool if the magazine did this or whatever, throw it in that DM we got going, and I'll bring it to the meeting and throw it out there for those guys. Like I said, it's for me, I look at it as representing this group. That's because who I'm tied to, as far as a regular basis. So that's how I'm kind of going at this. This isn't, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what all of us in front of my screen is doing.
So did they reach out to you, Matt?
Yeah.
They reached out to
you?
Yeah.
If you guys know Mike Gerton, he's one of the contributors, the carpenter. I think he's a Rhode Island guy. But Mike Gerton, he's the one. If you guys read Fine Home Building, he always seems to have like the short shorts on and like the sweatshirt, just like he's kind of still in the 80s or something. But awesome carpenter and stuff. He actually reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested, because Justin, the editor for Fine Home Building, reached out to him to suggest at least four building trade or shop teachers and stuff. So he reached out to me, and of course I was absolutely honored and stuff. So but yeah, they contacted me through Instagram. And like I said, I got really fortunate with the group I'm in, so I kind of got tied into a very influential building group and guys that are connected with those magazines, and it just it kind of worked out. But I tell you what, they are so supportive of what's going on in the shop classes and these building trade programs and stuff. Like, they think it is awesome. They, like I told them, one of the things I love about Instagram is, for me, getting a bunch of followers doesn't really matter as far as a financial situation, like all these businesses and stuff. But to get, I think me and Matt were talking about this the other day, getting connected, heck, we're coast to coast on this with 13 people, so it's really cool to have this platform on Instagram that gets us tied into everybody. And I like getting a little bit more knowing on Instagram, just because all of a sudden I talked to shop teachers up in Canada and guys in Australia and stuff, they're asking how, especially since we do an actual house building program, they're asking how we do that. So, the building community as a whole has really taken Instagram and I think utilized it to its max for sure. And so, like I said, for whenever that meeting is, I'm representing all of us and taking all of the ideas. And so I appreciate you guys sharing all this stuff, especially for me, because I really haven't gotten to try anything yet. We've kind of been in limbo for a month now, and just because of the way spring break hit for us. So I kind of feel like I get to watch you guys mess up, and then I get to try it. What works. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's why I was asking what works, what doesn't. We got to tear through the stuff that doesn't work. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, anything else, Matt?
No, I'm good. Like I said, I just wanted to show my appreciation and let you guys know that I guess your word's going to keep going and your ideas are going to go hopefully a little bit farther, and there are people, that are bigger than us that, as far as reaching mass amounts of people and especially in the industry, trades industry, are super interested in what we do. And I think this kind of stuff's only going to help, like I said, I know it's, by no means do I have a ton of followers, but the word's getting out there and things are spreading. So I hope it continues. That's the biggest fear with this whole Corona thing is, especially with budget cuts that could happen. We talked about this, I think last time, we're at the bottom of the list and first to go. So, I feel like there's a lot of momentum going on with the trade stuff. So hopefully that does not we don't lose momentum because of this.
Bluegrass, thank you. That's a very nice thing to say, and I wish I knew what to tell you to pass on to them. But I mean, clearly, just point them towards Shop Class Podcast, or point them towards any Instagram shop teacher, like any Instagram shop teacher. Just so you see that, aware that the shop teachers are not silent. That's the problem that I found, is that even though like there's such creative, diligent educators out there, and we're on Instagram, but all of us have just a tiny little reach, and together we're getting a better reach, and even if that's not the goal, the goal is really just to share ideas and help kids, but absolutely let them know we're here, we're alive, we're looking to collaborate. That's gonna happen.
And I know many of us have taught some of these home maintenance courses and stuff, or they're in our schedule or program of studies, that some of us have them, or some of them are adding them now. It's the nice thing is that hopefully that they can help promote some of these new programs, or even the established programs too. And even if they can do like a spotlight on different, programs, or even different shop teachers, that'd be awesome too. Like I taught home maintenance for 1 year, and I really had no clue what I was doing. And I suffered through it for a year,
Yeah. So like for instance, man, I mean, stuff like even when they shout out the teachers, like even when, like, let's say Jesse James says, oh, well, I learned how to use a lathe in my shop class. And then he'll make a joke, like say, oh, well, we made silencers, like, cause he's, and no coincidence, he now makes handmade guns or whatever. But like when Mike Rowe says, shouts out the shop teachers, or when they make a book called Shop Class or for Soulcraft, Shop Class is Soulcraft, like anytime, if the magazine wants to talk about shop class, I think that is, people read that and then they think, and everyone's got a story, everyone's got that story, and they're like, oh yeah, I remember making this and this and this, and so when people find out that we still have that class around, I think it gives this industry a boost, I think we lost Bloomquest, right? So anyway, we'll wrap it up. Anybody else with final thoughts? And and everybody should definitely say what their Instagram is, so go around and give us some final thoughts. Go ahead. Let's see. JJ Ford, wrap it up.
Hey. Yep. So my Instagram is double J Shopworks, and I'm just still taking it day by day and still figuring it out, and still taking from what you guys are doing, and go from there. Eventually, one of us will figure out the perfect thing, right?
Yeah. And Bloomquest, I know you cut out there, but what I was saying was maybe the only thing I could think of that I would ask them is just to shout out the shop class, and that's it. Just in general, that there is still this class, because not a lot of people know. When people find out what I do, they're like, "Wow, that's in an actual class in a high school," and I'm like, "Wow, yeah." So like I was saying, when celebrities shout out shop class, I think it connects the dots with people that the actual shop class is there. And now we're just kind of going around. Everybody should say their Instagram, and then we're kind of wrapping it up. So let's see. Matt Van Arsdale.
Mine is Muth Tech Ed, muth.tech.ed. And got a meeting with my principal tomorrow, so we'll see how this goes about what our plans are going to be for the future.
All right. And Sean?
Yeah, my school one is MLHS Tech Ed, and then my podcast one is Fridays in Flannel.
Oh yeah, I listened to the podcast. I heard the first one.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. I don't got my flannel today, but that's my preferred. And let's see. Okay, and Bloom Quest, we know we got you there. Build, learn, teach, right?
Go get the meat out of the freezer.
Nice. And I'm so sorry with the red shirt. I'm sorry.
Roy.
Roy. Okay, yeah, Roy. Thanks for joining us. What's your Instagram?
It's a Desert West Woodshop. We're traditional furniture, not traditional. We're like 1970s furniture program in a vacuum.
You know, it's funny. I know the Instagrams, and then sometimes I forget the faces. So sorry about that. Okay, and Emma, how do we? Oh, Emma, we got you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's underscore or periods. My Twitter's one, and my Instagram's the other. So I think it's periods.
Okay, fair. That's fair. Any final thoughts at all?
For me?
Sure. If not, you know.
No, I think I said them all already. Thanks for the time. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, thanks for joining us. Did we get everybody?
Yeah, and I'm Zavaki Tech Ed on Instagram and Twitter, but I don't usually go on Twitter, so.
Nice. And Tim, you're working on your the Model A wood?
The Model A, yeah. We got her up and running, and we posted a video of that the other day, and now we're doing the rear brakes, so.
Oh, dude, drum brakes?
Old school.
Awful. I have drum brakes on my Ford Ranger. I cry when I have to work on them. They're horrible. I don't know what.
Old school. Yeah, we're working on them.
I don't understand why they even still have those.
Yeah, but mine are mechanical, so there's no hydraulics at all.
Oh my God. So it's like a cable or something?
No, it's just a shaft that goes from the front of the car to back.
With a cam?
It's like literally, it's more like a
it's like a pinball machine.
Yeah. Well, the L-shaped cam. What's it called? I can't think of the name of it. But
this is such a Midwestern goodbye, but we're not all from the Midwest.
So.
All right, let's get out of here. That's it. All right, thank you. Thank you all.
All right, see you guys later.
You know me, I'm Mr. G's Workshop. We're gonna put this video right away onto YouTube. So if someone missed it and they want to know, we're gonna share this. It should be up within 24 hours. We missed one of them, but it's not a big deal.
Last one we missed, yeah.
Yeah, no big deal.
All right, see you guys later.
Thanks for joining.
All right.
See you later.